Hi, I'm Richard, and I'm about to tell you my story.
Well, I was born in Knutsford in England into a pretty reasonably wealthy family. So we came out here when I was 5 years old, and then I moved to Blenheim down in the South Island. Blenheim was awesome. It was all full of sheep and farmers and people that liked each other, and it's sort of changed a bit now. Now it's all vineyards. So I sort of grew up in that environment of going to school with farmers and farmers' kids. When I was 10, I went to boarding school down the South Island. Beautiful place, incredible with snow in the winter, and I was away from my family and my mum and dad, but I absolutely loved the ability to come out of school and go and do sports straight away. I've had a really good life and enjoyable, and the childhood was great until I got to a point in secondary school. I started sort of investigating what was life all about. Why was I actually here? What was the meaning of the universe, and was there really a God? I never really got into alcohol or smoking or anything like that. In fact, I think there was a time when I was at school at the college when some of the boys said, come around the back of the sheds, and we got out and went around the back of the sheds, and they gave me this smoke, and I put it in my mouth and had a puff of it and threw it on the floor, and I said, Flip, if that's what smoking's all about, I don't want it. I didn't like beer, so I never got into the beer or alcohol. I loved my wine. I'd have a glass with a meal and that's it. So that's sort of my beginning of my life. I think when I was at college, my brother became a Christian, and he came down to see us all at holiday down in Blenheim. He talked to us about this God that he'd found, and I thought, bit of a weirdo, gone a bit crazy. It sort of didn't really take much notice of it until we were out in the boat. The boat was absolutely full, chocker full, and we had 2 dogs in the boat, and we had 5, 6 people in this 20-foot, and we were going across the heads of the Marlborough Sound, and the motor went, and we were sitting out with the open sea just sitting there right in front of us and being washed towards the rocks. And my brother said, we should just have a cup of tea. And we thought, this guy's weird, but we all sat down and had a cup of tea. My dad was absolutely frantic, running around trying to get the motor going, and nothing worked. Nothing would happen. And my brother, after he had a cup of tea, said, we should pray now. And we were like, okay. So he prayed, and my dad tried it one more time, and it went. We all thought, gee, that's amazing. What a coincidence. Always, right from when I was a young boy, was always interested in, was there a God? What type of religions there were? I looked at all sorts of different religions, but there seemed to be so many that which one was right. And so you sort of gave it away and had none. I started searching for whether there's a God to this universe and this planet and to all the problems that we've got. And then one day I was really down. My mum had left my dad. She'd gone to England, and my sister had rung up and said she was having problems, and I just had a real downer day, and I went up to the top of the building at the college I was at and thought, man, I'm going to jump. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to jump, I might as well give God a chance. So I said, well, God, I'll give you a week. If you turn up in the next week, then I'll believe in you. And within about 2 days, somebody asked us if we'd go to church. So I thought, well, that's a sign. So I went to this church, and it was Lower Hutt Assembly of God. And it was a long way, and these people came and got us and took us there, gave us lunch. But that day really changed my life. And the next week, I went back again, gave my heart to God, and said, Jesus, you've turned up within a week, and so I'm going to, serve you, and I'm going to follow you. And the next week, I got baptised in water and came up out of the water, and I was just bubbling and talking in this funny language, and I thought I'd gone absolutely crazy, and the pastor there shoved the microphone in front of my face, and I started babbling across the loudspeakers with all this funny language. So, and that's when things changed in my life, I guess. I went back to school and talked to people about God, and most of my class became Christians, came along to church, and we had a little mini revival in our school, so it was pretty cool.